Now joined alongside by Mario Barrios. Mario, how are you, my man?
I'm good, man. How you doing, Ray?
I'm doing okay, my friend. It is great to see you. First of all, before we get into your big fight coming up in about 18 days' time, I want to know, how's your family? Is everyone safe and sound? This is obviously a very difficult time that we're dealing with COVID-19.
Yeah, everyone back home, they're all good. I've been keeping in touch with them almost every day. All my sisters always, just keeping in contact. But yeah, everyone's safe back home. Everyone's safe here. And we're ready to get rocking.
How excited are you to be able to defend your world title in your home city of San Antonio? Now, originally, it looked like this fight was going to happen without fans at Mohegan Sun. And I know that you probably take it either way, but how special is it that on Halloween night, you're going to be defending your world title in your home city?
It's huge. Once I got the word that it was going to be in San Antonio and I had announced it, the feedback that I got, it was unreal. And just knowing that, I'm going to have my first title defense, with an audience as well, it just makes it that much better.
It has been over 2 years since you fought in your home city of San Antonio. I remember when you fought at the Freeman Coliseum, you wiped out Yuri Bernardo, and the place went crazy. Do you have any idea what it's going to be like returning to San Antonio as a world champion on pay-per-view? Has that crossed your mind yet?
It has, but I don't think it's really going to sink in until I'm actually there and then, the fight's happening.
Also, you're fighting a fellow Texan in Ryan Karl. I know you guys are both very friendly and everything else, but how excited are you to go up against a guy that is from Texas and he's going to come forward and throw a lot of punches?
I'm very excited. To begin with, I thought this fight was going to be in Connecticut, so it was kind of a bummer. Just given, that me and Ryan are both big Texas fighters. And, knowing that type of fight is going to be, in San Antonio, again, with my crowd, I know he's going to bring, his fans as well. It's going to be a huge fight, man. The style Ryan has, the style I have, it's going to be an action-packed fight.
You brought up other Texas fighters. You look at the success that the Charlos from Houston were able to do last month on pay-per-view. Errol Spence has a matchup next in November on pay-per-view. There's so much young up-and-coming and world champions from Texas, you being one of them, Brandon Figueroa as well. What is the secret down there in the state of Texas?
And we're bred different in Texas. I don't know, man. It's just a different atmosphere over there. Yeah, man, we have a lot of talented fighters in Texas.
We've watched you grow and develop, especially being with Premier Boxing Champions. I remember when you beat Devis Boschero in New Jersey years ago, but can you talk to us about your development, how much you learned over the course of your career?
Yeah, after that Devis Boschero fight, there was a lot. I had to work on as far as my style. I was kind of just coming out, I guess just guns too hot, And after that fight was when we started working with Virgil Hunter. And, the transition with him, it's been great. He's a very technical coach, and I have a very technical style. So, from the very beginning, our styles had matched up really well. And, since then, we're 10-0. I have one world title right now, and we're going to continue on dominating together.
And we look forward to seeing it again. We're with Mario Barrios, the super lightweight champion of the world. Correction, also, the Spence-Garcia fight got moved from November to December 5th because of fans obviously being allowed at AT&T Stadium. But, I want to go ahead and really break down your evolution with Virgil. You were with your father for a long time, and then you decided to make the change with Virgil Hunter. That's not easy to have a father who brings along his son as a professional and then turn him over to another trainer. Can you dive into detail as to why you guys decided to make that decision?
Yeah, my dad, big shout out to him. He's been one of our biggest supporters, since we were younger. He's the one, who took over the reins when we were kids and, really, devoted his life to teaching me and my sister, the craft of boxing. And pretty much, I mean, after that fight with Devos Boshero, he kind of, told me, like, man, he was like, I brought you as far as I could bring you. I taught you everything that I could possibly teach you. He was like, you need somebody who has been at that level where you're going to go. And that's when my manager, he had a relationship with Virgil Hunter already. I guess he just knew both of our styles and just, figured that we might fit well. And then, so I came out here to the Bay Area for 1 week. And within that week, man, the training that we had got together wasn't anything crazy, just real light. But again, our styles had matched up perfectly. And since then, we've been having tremendous success.
What do you think are the biggest changes? Is the fact that Virgil has made you more a boxer puncher? Has he made you more aggressive? What are some tweaks that he has made in your style and in terms of your approach?
He has really taught me how to work my jab in a lot of different ways, using it coming forward, using it going back, using it to apply pressure, using it, to stop pressure. And, he really helped me calm down whenever I'm in the ring, where I'm able to pick my shots the way I want. I'm still stopping people, but, now the way I'm stopping them, I'm breaking them down over time, or it's just a lot more technical. So definitely, from the very start, Verge had always told me, he was like, I'm not going to change anything about your style. He was like, I'm just going to add on to it. And that's exactly what he's done.
Well, you've got 9. This is going to be your 11th fight with him. As you mentioned, you've only had one guy go the distance with you since you've been under the guidance of Virgil Hunter. That guy being your last opponent, Batir Akhmedov, that you fought at Staples Center where you won the world title. First of all, what did that mean for you, that moment when they said, and the new super lightweight champion of the world, and then he announced your name?
That meant everything. It's still something, it's hard to put into words just because, the type of fight that it was and everything that happened in the fight, I truly believe, I won that fight in the last minute of the 12th round, with the last knockdown. That's how I had it in my head going into that last round. And again, man, I tip my hat to Akhmedov. He was a warrior with me that night. He fought, his heart out. But knowing I was able to take back a world title to San Antonio, and when there hadn't been one in the city in over 20 years, it was huge. It was a tremendous honor. Now we have 2 world titles in San Antonio with another good friend of mine, Joshua Franco, who signed with the Golden Boy. But it was an unbelievable feeling. And then I know come the 31st, me defending that title is going to be a very similar feeling.
Going into that 12th round with Akhmedov, did you feel like you needed a knockdown, or, did you have that sense of urgency? What was going through your mind? Because the place at Staples Center was going crazy. It was an excellent fight. What was actually in your mindset as the bell rang for that 12th and final round?
Before that, the bell rang for the last round. Verge told me, my command Don, Bob Santos in my corner, they all told me, you need to drop him, or you need to knock him down, to secure this win. In my head, at that point I had the fight dead even. I knew, I had to come out, and really do something. But the type of fight that Akhmedov had turned it into, the second half of the fight. It was rough, so I really had to pull it together. I still can't even put into words how it happened, it just lined him up perfectly with a straight right hand. And I knew once I saw him go down that was it, that I secured the win. And I remember when I was going to the neutral corner, even looking at his corner, even their expression, they knew that was it, that they had just lost the fight. So knowing I was able to do that, in a fight, in a war where, a lot of fighters aren't able to make things happen. It was a very proud fight for me. Looking back, I have no regrets. Of course, there's always things you could have done differently. But again, I'm very proud of that fight. I'm very proud of the fighter I was able to show everybody that I am.
Did you learn a lot about yourself in that fight? Because I've never seen you in adversity ever like that. You're only 25 years of age. That's a big stage. That's a big moment. And you had to dig really deep to find, they talk about levels in this business and in the sport. Did you find that you could get to that next level and be pushed to the brink?
Yeah. I have always known, but it was just a matter of me just showing everybody, because again, before Akhmedov, I had stopped eight or nine of my opponents. None of them had went the distance. So, I was always telling everybody, I'm a warrior. I'll give my heart in that ring. I just didn't have an opportunity to show it until the fight with Akhmedov. And again, I'm very proud of that performance, because when things got tough, I dug down deep. I stayed in a fight. When people thought, that I was gonna get out of there, those, a couple of times, where he caught me with some good shots, buckled me a little bit. But I remember even in the fight, I was telling myself, man, I'll take an ass beating, but he's not gonna put me on the canvas. And it's just that type of mentality, that I have carried since I was a kid, and I'm happy I was able, to show everybody.
I know you're very proud of your Mexican heritage. Your nickname is El Azteca. You kind of grew up following, the great Mexican boxers and stuff like that. But how much does that mean for you to carry, the banner of being a proud Mexican-American champion, a warrior, un guerrero, as they like to say in Spanish?
That is huge, man. Again, I'm very proud of who I am, very proud of my heritage. Yesterday was, Indigenous Peoples Day. That was a huge day, walked outside, greeted the sun, just, being thankful, to our ancestors. And every time I step into that ring, I carry that same energy, where I represent, not only myself, represent, everybody, from our past, our heritage. And, I'm going to continue on doing that.
Well, I also want to talk about your upbringing because, you didn't have the easiest upbringing. You come from literally very humble beginnings, having started training as a boxer alongside your sister. For those who haven't heard, I've heard it many times, but can you tell us about some of the gym wars that you and your sister used to have back in the day? She's a very accomplished boxer as well.
Yeah, no, I want to call them gym wars with my sister. I don't think there was ever a time where I could really, even step in there with her and have her spar me seriously. My sister, has always been a very talented fighter. She carried on, her aggressiveness and her power throughout the pros. Right now, her boxing career is kind of on hold because of, the whole online schooling with my niece. She's busy being a part-time teacher right now. But, she already told me, as soon as I get back, we're going to get back into it, because I'll be able to help out also. And, but yeah, for those that don't know, my sister, Selena, the Aztec Queen Barrios, she's definitely a force to be reckoned with. She's the NABF, I believe, I forgot what belt it is, but the NABF champion right now. She's 6-1. But, yeah, man, she's very talented as well.
I know that you have a very good corner and you have very good backing. One of them, the individuals, Bob Santos, has been, raving about you, for as long as I can remember. I've known Bob for a very long time. And he always talks about you're becoming the barometer now for younger fighters, in which him and also Louis DeCubas Jr., who is a wonderful talent finder and really knows how to evaluate talent. But can you tell us about the chemistry that you have with your entire team, Bob, Louis, along with Mario as well, your publicist, who's constantly letting me know, what you're up to and how training is going and stuff?
Yeah, man. I wouldn't be where I am right now if it wasn't for them. From the very start, with Luis Cubas and Bob Santos, Al Heyman, they have made things happen for me, that I didn't think was possible. And Mario Serrano as well. Every time I talk to them, I'm always feeling like, man, I can't thank you guys enough. Bob Santos, he was out here in San Jose a lot. So real early on, whenever I would come out here with Virgil, it was like, I had, some family that, just, 30 minutes, an hour away down the highway. Same with Luis de Cubas. We have a very close relationship. He's a great mentor, great manager, great everything. I mean, I'm very thankful for the team I have.
And also, you have been fighting since 2013, I believe, Mario, but you've watched PBC, become, an entity and now blossom into the promotional force, or the force that it is, the branding force in boxing that it has become. How much has that meant to you to be a part of that? Because, I mean, how many times did we watch you fight down in Mississippi on FS1 and fight at Cowboys Dance Hall in San Antonio? And, I mean, you've literally fought anywhere and everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I've been honored, to be a part of, these huge cards. I remember the very first one, the Robert Guerrero versus Keith Thurman, when it was announced I was getting put on the card. I was only like 6-0. So, I mean, just being a part of, like, from the first biggest one, and continuing on to this day, seeing what PBC has developed into, and knowing, I'm a part of that. I mean, it's another great feeling, It really, it's awesome when the work you're putting in is showing, but then, the people that you're with, the fights that you're getting put on, are just as huge.
I feel with you that there is no difference when it comes to your approach as to when you started off and, now moving on to these bigger cards on pay-per-view. I mean, this is your second straight fight on pay-per-view, which I think is a testament to you and everything you've been able to do, but you seem to handle it. There are no nerves with you. It seems, you're so relaxed in there. I mean, is that sort of a facade, or, I mean, are you excited in there? I mean, because you just come out and you're amped up, but I feel like you're just so calm in that moment.
Yeah, I think that too, I have urged, to really think a lot. I've gotten really comfortable to where I trust, the process that, that we put in when it comes to, our preparations for our fights. So, I mean, come fight nights, on these, on these huge cards, this crazy atmosphere, at the fights, being at the Staples Center, being at the Barclays Center, I think that's one thing that really helps, to, calm my nerves, just really keeps me focused, because I know the work I put in during camp with Virgil, it's all going to show when the bell rings and when I step foot in that ring.
Has it also been because, you've been in the Bay Area, you've watched guys like Andre Berto, Amir Khan, and you see how they approach their big fights? Has that helped you out as well?
Yeah, no, definitely. I've been in the gym with Andre Ward, like I said, Andre Berto, Kid Chocolate. I've built these relationships with these top level fighters, and they're always, spreading their wisdom, anytime that they were in the gym. So, I mean, that was another thing too, coming out here with Virgil, it was a champion atmosphere. Again, we had all these different fighters, coming in at different times, just depending on when their fights were lining up. And a lot of times, my fights were getting lined up, the same with theirs. So I'd be in here between 8 to 12 weeks with these guys, just soaking up as much knowledge as I could, just getting as much advice as I could. And I mean, again, I'm very thankful, for Virgil, for opening, his arms, to training me. And again, all the relationships, that I have made in this sport over here.
Now, I know you look up to guys, but what's it like now being 25 years of age, being a world champion, and have guys look up to you, most notably the newest members of the PBC stable, the Barrios brothers? Bob Santos, very high on them as well. And, they have both said that you have been very much open and giving them guidance. What's that like kind of now? You've gone from being the one that you're looking up to people, and now people are looking up to you. Younger fighters are asking you for advice.
It's crazy. It's still something, that I get used to. I mean, because if you would have told me I would be in the position where I am right now, 10 years ago, I wouldn't believe it. But, the Barrios brothers, man, I remember when I had the camp for Devils Bolshero, I had my training camp in Vegas, and I remember seeing them then, and I was like, man, like these kids are gonna be something special. And I mean, just seeing, all the young prospects coming up right now, I have, my good friend Omar Juarez, who's with the PBC team, and
Yep.
same weight class, very talented young fighter, man. Very excited for his future as well. It's amazing. Again, man, seeing what, PBC is blossoming into, seeing the young fighters that are coming out right now.
It's just interesting because you used to be, I mean, you're still young, don't get me wrong, but you used to be in that young prospect territory, and now sort of you're the world champion, and we're watching prospects that are looking up to you and sort of following in your footsteps.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, it's crazy, the talking to, these younger guys, and I mean, just hearing what they had to say, because I was like, man, I was saying the exact same thing, and it seems like it wasn't even too long ago. Like, it seemed like I was just having these conversations like a couple months ago, but I look at it and I'm like, man, it's already been like 6 years. Like, it's pretty crazy.
That is crazy at how time flies. Mario, how do you see your fight going down with Ryan Karl? Like, how do you envision it, playing out on October 31st on Showtime pay-per-view?
I've been, thinking about, the fight, of course, and every day. I'm out here in camp, just by myself, just very focused. And I know the type of style that Ryan Karl brings. Again, we've known each other for a very long time. And Ryan Karl, is very similar. He's a warrior. When he steps in there, he steps in with bad intentions. And so, I mean, I know it's going to be a very explosive fight. Again, I mean, I'm gonna try my best, to use my attributes, to box, as smart and as technical as I can. But I know once I feel that, that punch land, I'm gonna want to sit there and bang with him. But again, man, all total respect, to Ryan Karl, his team, his family, they're great people. But come fight night, it's only business. At the end of the day, he's in there to take what I have worked so hard for, and that's my world title. I mean, so I'm going to do whatever it takes, to make sure that stays in San Antonio.
Well, we are very much looking forward to that fight, and assuming everything goes according to plan on Halloween night, is there anybody that you have in your mind that you'd like to fight next? As I look at the card, you have Regis Prograis, Juan Heraldez, Prograis, former super lightweight world champion. Is that something that would interest you, or what's in if you could make the fight next, if you're successful on Halloween night, who would you want to fight?
Given everything, goes as we're planning, me, being the fighter I am, I would want, to challenge one of the other champions, Josh Taylor, or Ramirez as well. I mean, that's, the goal, in the sport, is to unify. So immediately, I mean, that's what I would want. But I mean, like you're saying, I mean, there's huge names, there's huge names and plenty of potential fights that, could be made. And I've said it before, I'm in the sport, I want to give fans the most exciting fights possible. Regis being a name that I know that would make that type of fight. Whether it's at 140 or whether, it's in the future at 147. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities. I mean, especially, with PBC and everything.
Well, especially because, I mean, 47 is absolutely loaded. You know that. I mean, make no mistake about it. With Spence and Garcia December 5th. I mean, Sean Porter, Manny Pacquiao. I mean, Jamal James, the list goes on and on and on. Keith Thurman as well. How long do you anticipate being here at 140?
I mean, this is, we're going, I think, I mean, ever since I've been with Virgil, we had made the move to 140. And, I mean, it's getting a little harder to make weight, but I mean, we're making it comfortably. And, until it becomes too much on my body, then we'll, make the decision to move up. But, I mean, as of right now, my focus is the junior welterweight division. And, we're going to continue on, on dominating. I mean, as much as we can. I mean, before, we had to move up.
Well, we're looking forward to your matchup on October 31st. And also, Mario, as from a selfish standpoint, I know you're a very big football fan as well. You're from San Antonio, but I mean, I love the fact that you're a big Navy and Orange fan. You're a Chicago Bears fan. How did that happen?
I mean, I was, born in Wisconsin, and the city that I'm from, it's actually closer to Chicago than Green Bay. So I mean, that's how all of that came about. But yeah, man, I'm a huge Bears fan. The past couple of games have been, stressing me out. Yeah, they've been stressing me out, to the very end. But yeah, man, I'm a diehard Bears fan.
Well, my man, you have made the right choice with the Navy and Orange. Good luck to you, bro. I'm very excited to see your fight and call your fight on October 31st. Have a great one. Stay safe. And finally, do you want to tell anything to all your fans out there?
Everybody, man, appreciate the support. Back home, San Antonio, if y'all haven't bought y'all's ticket, I don't know if you still can, but if not, make sure to buy the pay-per-view on Showtime on Halloween night. It's not a night of boxing that you're going to want to miss out. Appreciate everything, Ray.
Thanks, Mario. We'll talk to you during Halloween.
For sure, brother.